Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching Greenwave TV, alternative media television. So there is a very, very high likelihood that George Zimmerman is going to walk. And this is great news because it plays right into the upcoming race riot, right into the hands of President Barack Obama and this engineered racial divide that he's created, which he created on day one, likening himself or likening Trayvon Martin to as if it was his own son. Personalizing the experience, raping and shredding the U.S. Constitution, George Zimmerman's ability to defend himself in a court of law in front of a jury, which in my opinion is about to acquit him. And, you know, what's the reasoning behind that? Why is George Zimmerman going to be acquitted? Well, he's going to be acquitted, in my opinion, because it's going to be very, very difficult to prove intent to kill on somebody with a broken nose and multiple wounds in the back of his head because his head was being banged into the concrete, and corroborating eyewitness accounts and evidence that Trayvon Martin was straddling George Zimmerman and was on top of him. So you see how that's, from an evidence standpoint, that's going to be very difficult to prove beyond unreasonable doubt that George Zimmerman was on the hunt to kill humanity. Specifically black people is what Obama wants you to believe, because again, this is a race war being engineered by the White House. This is the last thing President Barack Obama has at his disposal. I mean, hey, scandal after scandal, Benghazi Gate, the IRS, Snowden, the NSA, running guns into Syria, a civil war in Syria, now a civil war in Egypt, revolution and re-revolution. In fact, Egypt is so bad now, since President Barack Obama has intervened, that I was reading reports yesterday of women in the streets of Cairo, Tahrir Square, being gang raped multiple times, almost to their death. There's people, parts of the opposition group, Muslim Brotherhood versus, the other regime, throwing each other off of buildings, murdering each other outright in broad daylight. So, again, none of it was this bad until the United States decided to intervene. But again, this is a part of the program. This is the agenda: destabilize the Middle East, create warring nation states so that the United States can achieve a political agenda and a political objective in this area of the world and plunder their wealth, which is exactly what they've been doing for not just decades, but really hundreds, if not thousands of years. So it's working very well here in the United States. But what's interesting to me is the upcoming race war on the heels of a potential George Zimmerman acquittal, because, as I said from the very beginning, this was meant to be about race. No one gives a shit about the actual case anymore. Of course, has nothing to do about the case. Has nothing to do with George Zimmerman or Trayvon Martin being black. This has everything to do with an engineered event and an engineered race war in this country, which is the last thing that a black president has at his disposal in the White House. Again, they can only have the camera and the focus and the lens on them so much. I mean, he can only answer so many questions about trafficking guns from newly toppled Libya into Syria, what has come to be known as Benghazi Gate, the engineered revolution and re-revolution, although using organic elements of an angry-led people, an angry Egyptian-led people. But to think that these events aren't engineered by the system itself makes you insane. People say, oh, you can't fake, tens of thousands of people in Tahrir Square. No, you can't fake that, but you can engineer it. Absolutely. Take a look at the United States, for example. Take a look at Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street was engineered. Of course, there were organic elements to it, but it was engineered by the CIA and the FBI. These people are very easy to control, very easy. In other news, Adam Kokesh actually shot a video on July 4th. Didn't lead a march, by the way. Didn't lead one, even though he said he was. Turned out to be just a publicity stunt, which is what I said in the very beginning. And I like Adam Kokesh. And honestly, I'd kind of like to hear his response to this. I like Adam. I think the guy is, he's done a lot of really great things for liberty in the past. Was this recent publicity stunt, did it have any merit or worth for the liberty movement at all? Did it do anything for it? No, not really. But he did show up himself. It looked like he was kind of hiding somewhere behind a camera, and he basically armed himself with a shotgun, put a couple shotgun shells, and CNN picked it up, said that he could get a year in prison for it. So I really don't know what he's thinking or what he's doing. It seems like a pretty idiotic move. But it's pretty amazing, guys. It's pretty amazing to see this play out and to see this unfold. Not just here in the United States, but all over the Middle East. And, just getting prepped and very excited. My palate is wet. It's kind of like I had a nice sweet sorbet at a 5-course dinner. Now I'm just waiting for the George Zimmerman outcome so we can have another O.J. Simpson, freak show, L.A. riots, and, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and all those individuals that are just going to bite and chomp on the bit to get involved racially so they can cozy up with President Barack Obama and pretend like everything's okay in our society. Pretend that it's still the white man's fault. Well, you know what? We need to stop blaming each other. We need to stop continuing the hate in this country. We need to stop engineering it, which is exactly what President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, running for 2016, definitely want to vote for her in 2016. Lying scumbag Clintons, basically a hierarchy of the elite. President Bill Clinton, of course, lying to your effing face when he was president, saying he did not have sexual relationship with Monica Lewinsky and several other women, which was a felony. He should have not just been impeached, but he should be in federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison along with the other criminals at the upper echelons of power, control, government in Washington and in Wall Street. So stay tuned. I'm on my way to the studio. We've got a lot of great reports today. And make sure to continue to get our content out. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video on Egypt. Please get it out to your friends and family. Thanks again for the support. Christopher Green, hard-hitting and in your face.